Welcome back to Musicians Anonymous, the podcast from artists for artists. Today I have a very special guest, a singer from Romania who has experienced The Voice and The X Factor, has been a backing singer and a session vocalist. Beatrice Iordachescu.
Okay, yeah,
Hello.
that was actually good. Hi.
Did I say your name right?
Yeah, no, actually, that was good.
Finally.
That was
Okay,
the first
good.
time you did it
my
right.
God. Yeah, I always say your name right. I'm terrible with names.
Oh, yeah.
God. You're studying at BIM University right now in Germany, am I correct?
Yes. Yeah, I am.
How are you loving Berlin? There's
I
so
love
much
Berlin.
music in Berlin.
Oh,
right?
I love Berlin.
Yeah.
I love Berlin so much. I think it's... Before I moved here, I was talking with my friends and they said, bro, Berlin is your city. And it actually is.
Actually,
Yeah,
yes. You
yeah,
got it right.
I love it so much. I think there wasn't like any better choice that I could have made.
Do you feel like during the next few years here, you'll have all the opportunities you need to do what you want to do in music?
I think it's not enough time.
It's not
Because
enough
time
time.
passes so fast.
It does.
So fast.
It does.
Already half of the first year of uni is
Oh,
done.
yeah.
Half of it, it's gone.
It does fly, especially when you do stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely,
you
definitely.
you practice, you play with people, you work with bands and whatever. It flies like crazy. But yeah, do you plan on staying afterwards?
I do not know. It's really difficult. I think here, because the market is so super saturated, oversaturated? Is that the right word?
Oversaturated, yeah.
Oversaturated. I feel like it's so hard to find a spot for yourself because people here are doing some experimental stuff. They are doing a lot of interesting shit. And I feel like it's much more difficult to find a spot for yourself that is just yours. And you know,
Oh yeah,
it's-
that's totally valid actually.
Yeah.
Have you sort of specified your genre, or are you still
No.
looking?
No, I'm looking. I'm
Still
looking. The thing
looking.
is, I can do a lot of stuff and I can sing a lot of stuff. And I think I'm really good in being versatile with my vocal performance and technique. But I think it's really hard to find like a place that works for you and then actually get like a strong team of people that are all on the same page as you.
yeah.
I think that's the hardest thing as a vocalist. Because since I've been here, it's so hard to organize people to be in the same spot together and then have bury their responsibility. Carry
Carry the
carry the responsibility all the time. And as a vocalist, especially in a band setting, I think it's so hard to make your voice heard.
Quite literally, also.
Yeah, no,
'Cause
literally,
everybody
literally.
wants their thing.
Guitar up.
I guess you've experienced that a lot.
yeah,
as well,
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
for
The
sure.
guitarist wants the guitar.
Yeah,
the drummer
yeah.
wants the drums. The bassist wants the bass. It's always
Yeah,
the same.
especially when I was a backing vocalist and I thought something was wrong. I was like, arse. Guys, sorry.
Can you change
Sorry.
the balance?
Oh, yeah, literally.
How did you get into doing backing vocals?
Well, my vocalist was looking for backing vocalists at the
okay.
time, and she called my vocal teacher, my vocal
amazing.
coach, and she was like, "Do you want to do this?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!" I was scared shitless, by the way. Like I did it before a few times. But I wasn't completely prepared to be on stage all the time, and also doing harmonies and, you know, just like being on stage and working that type of life. Because we were doing gigs, we were doing late nights, we were doing a lot of events in a month, and that was really tiring. I was 17, so I had to, you know, understand how to balance that, which was basically a job. It didn't feel like a job to me, but it was definitely a job with school, with music that I was doing on my own solo. And I think working as a backing vocalist is really complicated because you kind of start losing yourself. Because I was merging so well with Bella, my vocalist, at that point, that I kind of lost my own style because I was imitating her basically.
That
Yeah.
is something that happens to quite a lot of people, actually,
Yeah.
from what I've seen and heard in general. And you were 17, you said, so that must have been quite
I'm
a lot
18.
of pressure. You were 17.
Oh, I
then.
were, yeah.
You're 18?
Yeah,
I didn't know you were 18.
yeah.
Oh, crazy. Okay, so a year ago. I was going to say, well, that was a few years ago, so it must have been quite a lot of pressure.
Yeah, no, that's
No, but
true.
how did you cope with, like, you know, pressure doing stuff and organizing people and working with a bunch of other people?
Here, I think it's definitely just putting a lot of pressure on people, literally, and kind of, as a girl in the industry, a guy industry, you know, it's for the males.
Yeah, it still is.
Yeah, no, definitely it is. I think as a girl, you just have to be really insistent, because, you know, guys with their jokes, kind of like noodling on their guitars, but you want to do a sound check for the mics, for example, and then you have to say, guys, please shut the fuck up. Oh, sorry, can I
Yeah, totally. Just swear away.
Okay. Yeah, no, guys, shut up. Like, we need to do this. And it's kind of like, haha, yeah, we need to do this, whatever. So you definitely just need to be in a mindset where you're like a leader, I guess, especially as a vocalist, because I think you kind of lead a lot of the energy in the band.
100%. I mean, it is a big part. It's what people remember most of the time, unless we're talking guitar solos.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is very true. Honestly, that's very true. When you did backing vocals, you also did like session in general, like in recording in studios. Am I right? Like for people. So you've experienced the studio setting before, and how was that? How did you feel?
Whoa, that's completely different because my training, like my bass training, is performance and vocals. But entering a studio at 17 with producers who are like 25, 35, working in the industry like since they were 15. And it's like they know how to do everything, but you feel so inexperienced doing that. On stage, I'm like free bird. I feel like in my own element on stage. But in the studio, it felt so weird in the beginning because you feel so much. I was comparing myself to, industry professionals, seasoned producers. And I was there like, I don't really know how to write lyrics, guys.
And they wanted you to write lyrics and stuff as an artist as well. Like as a collaborator on other people's stuff and your own stuff?
Yeah, I was working on that a bit, but I just focused a lot on performance because I just felt that I needed to focus my training in a specific way. That's why I didn't get the joint honors in BIM. Because I wanted to really be like a good performer. That was my main thing that I wanted to do. Yeah.
But I mean, you've got a lot of experience in performing. Also,
yeah,
your X Factor and voice part of your life must have helped a lot with that.
A lot. It's a big production.
What came first for you?
X Factor.
X Factor
I was
came first.
Barely 15 at that point.
Oh wow, young age.
Yeah. Well, first, if we really want to count it, it was The Voice Junior. I was 11. But that was...
Who thought of putting you in The Voice Junior? Was it like your parents or your vocal teacher? Or?
I was 3 months of vocal coaching lessons in with my old vocal teacher.
Early.
And she was like, you know what? You need to get out there. The Voice auditions are happening for kids. And I'm like, okay, I'm definitely not getting in or something. And then I did. And it was really, really weird because as a kid, you don't really realize what's going on. Your parents are there. They don't really tell anything to you. You're like just kind of there, go on stage.
Like, just go on stage and sing.
Yeah, literally, that's how it is. Literally, that's how it is. So that happened really fast. It was really frustrating because you see a lot of kids and then I'm seeing my performance now after years. And that was really good for an 11-year-old. So.
I saw it for an 11-year-old.
Yeah.
That was really fantastic.
Yeah, no, not to but it was really good. But they didn't turn because it's not a vocal talent show. It's an entertainment show.
I think we all know that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That for The Voice and X Factor and all these talent shows are mainly an entertainment thing. But I mean, people are there for that. For the entertainment, drama, and what's going on backstage, and
oh yeah, definitely.
and all that stuff. But yeah, for the actual people that want to get somewhere with their voice and show their voice, it's a great platform to be seen. But you've got to have the media bundle attached to yourself.
That's exactly where I was noticed by the producers that I worked with, actually. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. There we go.
Yeah, that's where they saw me first and they were like, oh, you're really, really good. But then, get in the studio. Let's do some stuff.
Yeah, let's do some stuff.
Yeah.
So how many years later did you go to, you said you were 15?
Yeah.
On the...
Yeah. And then on the X Factor. And then I was 17 on The Voice.
On The Voice. Oh.
Yeah.
I guess you also met a lot of other artists. I guess you also met a lot of other artists and people.
Yeah.
Do you want to, or have you worked, or do you want to work with some of the people you've met there?
I mean, I think when you go to such shows, I think it's very individual. It's definitely everybody's in there for their own ass. Everybody's in it to get recognized, get known. I don't think also in Romania there's a very collaborative aspect of music creation. I feel like everybody's just doing it for the money because industry is growing a lot right now, and especially in one of the 3 biggest labels that we have. And I think I think they lose sight of the actual music they're creating. So I think that's kind of where we're lacking right now.
That's
like
that's
in
quite
Romania.
sad in one perspective, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so from doing that, like you said, you did live backing vocals and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like regularly do shows
Oh yeah.
with people? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Was
yeah,
that
yeah.
a strain on your voice as well at some point? Because I mean, it's difficult, especially at a young age with like technique and everything. Like, did you ever come across a point where you were like, "Oh, my voice is really suffering right now"?
Oh yeah. When I first started singing, I was doing a technique that was made for seasoned players and especially girls over 18, because your voice has like your actual like anatomy has to develop.
Yeah.
So basically, I was taught a wrong technique, or maybe wrong for my age. So from 11 to 14, 13 and a half ish, there was a time period in which I basically lost it. I was a natural belter. I had a natural kind of like powerful voice, and then that went away, completely went away. So I had a lot of issues with my registers and just being like actually able to complete a whole song. Like I had to stop in the middle because I was hurting.
Was it that bad?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I went to my now vocal teacher, whom I love and adore and salute, te iubesc, Crina.
Whatever she said.
I love you, Crina, which is her name.
Okay.
And then I had to unlearn everything, and that was tough. Imagine your voice developing in a certain way. My anatomy was used to doing a certain thing, and I was doing it exactly in the period in which it was developing the fastest. So I had to unlearn basically 3.5 years of bad technique. And that took like 2 years and a half. Yeah, really frustrating.
That must have been hard mentally as well, honestly.
It puts a deep strain on your mentality because I'm my biggest critic. Yeah. I'm my biggest critic. Like, there's nobody else in the world who can say something to me that I haven't thought first, like bad comments.
Well,
like,
honestly, that's quite good because you think everything bad first, and nothing else can, nothing can surprise you.
Yeah, no, definitely not nice to hear from other people.
No, definitely not. No. Somebody comes
but I
to you and
definitely
says, "You're terrible, you're bad," and you're like, "Oh, that's fine. I've already heard it in my own head."
Yeah, no, definitely, but it has its toll, definitely. Like. And I remember comparing myself to like Beyonce, Demi Lovato. No, because I wanted to be the best, and I was really determined since I was little. But then this thing happens and you cannot sing anymore. And then, now I'm still learning. I'm still developing my technique. It's still really hard to find certain emissions, certain sounds that I want to emulate. But then at the same time, now that my voice is kind of hot all the time. It's hot. It's performing, especially now that I'm wait, look at the camera. Yeah, especially now that I'm performing a lot in class and in uni, and I'm doing all of those other projects that I'm doing. I feel like it's just like ready to go all the time. But it still has its perks that I wanna twitch.
Like fine tune your voice.
Yeah, that's the point where I'm at right now.
Basically still an organ. I mean, your vocal cords, and you have to first of all take good care of them.
Oh yeah,
and obviously
I do vocal steaming. Yeah. I have this LuxVox device, which is like vocal therapy, vocal gym. Yeah, it's an SOVT device, which is like a semi-occluded vocal tract instrument.
Okay.
Yeah, and it looks like a bong. But you put water in it and then you
that's what
sing
you
into
do
it.
with the bong.
And then you sing into it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it actually like positions your chords in the most perfect position, especially for mixed and especially for like transitioning through your registers. Yeah, it's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. But you have to know how to do it good. Like I did workshops and master classes for me to be able to know how to and understand how to correctly use it. Because if you use it wrong, then it's gonna hurt again.
Then it's just gonna be a regular bong. But that's really good that you've got like an insight into this sort of stuff, and you know what you have to help you. You know, you know that there's this that's going to help my this register. That's going to help my range in general. Are you in general like full out question? Are you happy with your voice right now the way it is?
No.
You're not.
No, it's never good enough. It's never gonna be good enough.
That's the attitude.
It's never gonna be good enough. Beyonce still develops her voice.
Yeah.
Like I can never be good enough.
That's actually a really good attitude. It's like, okay, no, you got to know you're good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That's better. It's good, one good thing to clarify. You got to know you're good, but there's always more places to develop.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I think it's like being a doctor, you know, a lot of stuff developing all of the time, you know, like SOVT devices, SOVT exercises, some new vocal exercises that you can do for this, some breathing exercises. Then you got to work on your breathing. You got to work on actual positioning of the actual like mouth and neck and muscles, and then you gotta go to like actually, you know, stretching your vocal cords in a certain way, and the CT muscle does this and this other muscle does this. So I think it's really, really helpful to actually know your anatomy and really understand what's going on behind the scenes, because I felt like that really, really helped me understand what's really going on, especially with like airflow and stuff like that. So it's definitely good to hear it on other people too, like, oh, this is this emission, this is this emission.
Definitely.
But this is also like a matter of ear training, kind of like, but ear training in the direction of understanding other people's voices. So then you can copy it. I feel like what was really helpful for me was copying my vocalist when I did like a year of backing vocals. It was really crazy because she's such a good, naturally talented, amazing vocalist. Like I would call her Beyonce. I'm not joking. Like she's amazing Filipino
That's
artist.
amazing. You've got somebody to look up to, somebody at that level.
Yeah, no,
which is crazy.
Definitely. So
But
I imitated her for a while, but also struggles of doing that. You not only do you lose yourself, but then at the same time, it's a matter of developing a certain sound that is closer to like an impression of somebody rather than you singing.
Yeah, it's not yourself.
It's kind of you're doing an impression of her, which is crazy.
That's honestly what I did a lot when I'd studied classical piano. I just copied recordings, and then I copied my teacher because I was pretty shit at reading notes. I mean, I can read notes now, but back at the time I was really bad at sight reading. And I just copied what I heard and just played it exactly the way I heard. But then when I stopped doing that, I just started, my personal way of expressing myself through piano completely took a whole other direction, and now it's totally different, and I'm really happy with the way I can play now. So I totally understand where you're coming from, because you're at that, like, you know, copying phase where you need to, like, you know, move out and be like more yourself.
Yeah, no.
And also
definitely.
that also comes back to what we were talking about before, like genre picking. Like, where do you fit in?
Yeah.
Is
yeah,
that,
no,
how does
definitely.
that even work?
How
What sort of
does that
stuff do
even
you
happen?
like listen to and think, oh, I'd love to do this?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
Anything from like Billie Eilish to Sade to anything. The thing is, I know I can do a lot of stuff with my voice, but I don't necessarily know where I would fit in. Because, you know, you want to get popularity and you want to be recognized for your music and your creations. But then at the same time, you want to be fulfilled, like, you know, in your heart, that you know that you're doing what you're meant to be doing. You know,
I mean, you could just do like total mainstream pop and get a good producer, and you could be up there within like a year and a half, you know. But you'd be like,
is that satisfactory enough?
You'd be happy,
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm kind of running away from that. Like, I'm trying to find my own voice in the way I express myself right now. But I think it's really difficult to find people to work with. Because you get with certain producers in a studio and you just don't resonate, and that's completely fine. But they don't have the work ethic and the work flow that you need, and that works with
That's
yours.
why you got to try different ones and see who fits. And it's good if you walk into the studio and you start doing something, and like half an hour later you're like, hang on, I'm actually really enjoying this. This is really cool.
Yeah.
So I always try to do that myself as well when I'm with people in the studio. So it makes something that they love. So that I think that's the goal in general in music and creation. Just make something that person loves. And if somebody, like people in general, listen to it because they like it, well, that's awesome. You've got the same taste. You know, it's like, do you know Benjamin Clementine?
I think so.
Amazing artist. His genre is very, very specific. I don't think I can categorize it as anything specific because it's so special. But I personally love exactly what he's doing. Exactly that. It's just that. That's me. If I could sing as well as he does, I would just be doing that stuff, and I wouldn't do anything else. I wouldn't do production. I wouldn't do anything else. I'd just do that because it's amazing stuff. But yeah, like I say, it's a very, very thin demographic, like target demographic. Oh
yeah. The thing I do know though is I want it to be natural. I don't want it to be overly produced. It's not that I hate the sound of it, but I think it's just music, especially for me and how I listen to it, has to have like
It's organic sound.
Yeah, organic sound. Yeah, definitely. I feel like that's, guitar recorded in studio. I don't want the meaty shit. I want the live drums. I want everything. That's, I think it brings a bit of soul that we maybe have lost along the way with like the evolution of technology. And I feel like,
and you can make a song on your laptop, on a plane, in half an hour.
Yeah.
And if you've got a good team around you, you can have that and make it a hit.
Yeah.
And you don't have to use a single instrument. You just use a mic for the vocals.
Literally, Gorillaz, they did one of their albums, I don't remember which ones right now, on their tour bus on GarageBand.
Yeah.
Yeah, like literally recorded everything. And it's an amazing album, don't get me wrong. But I feel like there's a bit of soul lost, at least for me. I think like live instruments are kind of being lost along the way, kind of being replaced by lonely dudes in their basements.
Yeah, so basically you've done a lot of stuff in there and you know where you're pointing at, you know where you're aiming, which is amazing. So yeah, I honestly wish you a lot of luck.
Thank you.
And I will be following your journey closely.
Yeah, thank you. I'll see you in class.
See you in class.